everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, as usual, I have to go through my usual spiel because it's so important. Because I want whoever would like to be a part of this community to come on in. Yes, because it is the best community on these internet streets. And I'm not bragging, it's just facts. And like I said, if you want to be a part of it, come on in. Come on in. The water is fine, as they say. And listen, when I say it's the best, it is the best. And if you don't believe me, go in the comments, talk to someone, chit chat with somebody. I promise you'll get a kiki. I promise you will. And after you get through, come on out, then hit those settings. Look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you'll know when I upload, you just want to pop in and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. It is a beast. That's all I'm going to say. Also, I just want to give a big shout out and a big, huge, huge, huge thank you to all of the squatties who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all have been doing a grade A, what is it, A++ job? I'm telling you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means everything. Also, over in that corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member, you will be supporting this channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, our super thanks button is over there, right in the opposite corner over there. And all donations to the channel is always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we have some shout outs. We do. And first up is Kino Najori. Kino, what can I say about Kino? Kino showed up not long ago and has become a ride or die. Has become such a huge part of this community. Has been supporting. I'm telling you, always coming through with the support. And it's always in those comments, I'm telling you, just absolutely dropping the knowledge. It is incredible how Kino has become such a huge part of this community. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kino. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for choosing this community, and thank you for being here, for showing up. It's everything. Next up is Annette Sweat. Annette, I love Annette. Annette has been with me since the beginning. Yes, she has. And she has always supported. She always come through with the support. I'm telling you, she is unwavering. When I say unwavering, she is unwavering. So, I'm telling you, I'm so lucky to have her. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for supporting me all the way through this journey. You're everything. You are. And last but not least is Patricia Smith. Patricia is a ride or die. Patricia is down with the read. I'm telling you, always showing up. If I go in the comments, I know I am going to see Patricia participating, dropping knowledge. I mean, she is just everything. And she is so supportive. She supports the read. She really does. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Patricia. Thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this community. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. I just want to give another quick thank you to Kino Najari, to Annette Sweat, to Patricia Smith. Listen, y'all are everything. Y'all are what keeps me going, motivated. I mean, I'm telling you, y'all support the read, and it means so very much to me. So thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for showing up, and thank you for being a part of this community. That right there is what means everything to me. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and that's exactly what I have done today. I have been over to TikTok. I kind of went over to Blue Sky. The Blue Sky Squatties are a little quiet. I don't know if it's because of it's kind of restricted over there. They don't take none of our nonsense over there on Blue Sky. They don't. You can't drag nobody really over there at Blue Sky. So I don't know. And of course, I went to Instagram to see what the Instagram squatties are doing, and I peeked in on Megan. I didn't see anything really new, but I always go over there and check on our girl. I always encourage y'all to go over there and see exactly what Megan is up to and show her some love, give her some likes. That's what I do. I do it all the time. And of course, y'all know my last stop is always X, formerly known as Twitter. And I called the sewer. Yes, I had to go over there and see what the squatties were doing, what they were talking about. And of course, they still are basking in the glow of With Love Megan. That drop, still basking in the glow of the drop of new products from As Ever. Yes, they're still talking about all of that. They're talking about each and every one of the different episodes from With Love Megan, their favorite, moments. It is just my timeline is just giving me life. It is. But we have a few things to talk about. Now, we're not going to stay long because it's not a whole lot going on. Like I said, squatters are just enjoying everything that has happened this week, just digesting it and letting it wash over them and just going. I tell you this, what they are doing. They are rewatching With Love Megan season 2, and some of them I have saw on my timeline are rewatching 1 as well. Yes, it is a big weekend to watch With Love Megan. That's what the squatters are posting about. They are. And y'all know we talked about this in my last podcast because we want to get it in the top 10. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, what's going on with Megan's ratings for With Love Megan. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about Tom Sykes a little bit more too, because a squatty did a very interesting thread on him, because this squatty said that he was on with Dan Wooten, aka Martin Brennan, on his YouTube show. And he made some very interesting comments. So we're going to talk about that. And just a few other things we're going to talk about. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you long because this is Labor Day weekend. I know y'all got a lot to do. Y'all are celebrating and, just being with your family. And I understand that. So I just want to get a little kiki in and also just give y'all a little update on some of the things that I am finding on these internet streets. So let's get started. I'm going to put this up first. And look what this squatty posted. They said Megan's love is global. Australia, Sri Lanka, which country joins the top 10 next? And y'all remember I talked about this in my last podcast, how Megan had made the top 10 on the Netflix top 10 list in Australia. Well, she has also made the top 10 list in Sri Lanka. Who would have thought? And yes, 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 our girl is global. And in my last podcast, I was telling y'all about how on these internet streets, squatties are challenging each other from different countries, saying US, Canada, the UK, come on, let's get our girl in the top 10. And looks like Sri Lanka has come on through. Now, it's my understanding, one of the readers told me in the comments, which I did not know, that the ratings doesn't come out for the UK and the US. I don't know about Canada until the first of next week. So we got time to run this thing up. Yes, we cannot let Australia and Sri Lanka outdo us. No, we cannot. Us US squaddies have to come through. Us UK squaddies have to come through. Us Canadian squaddies have to come through. We all have to come through for our girl. And like I said, I am so proud of Sri Lanka. I cannot. Megan is loved all over the world. She is. And I cannot wait to see how many top 10 she makes in different countries. Cannot wait. I just love it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty was posting about how Megan is in the top 10 in Australia and Sri Lanka and said this. And if I said With Love, Megan is loved a lot more internationally and including episodes where Megan explores and cooks with friends or chefs outside of the US, would actually eat. Yes, Megan has always made her guests international. And she has always been this person who is curious and always trying to learn more about other people's culture. And I just love it. My favorite episode so far is episode 3 with Tan France. And Megan thinking of something that would be appropriate for him to gift him with, which was that masala daba. Oh my goodness, I love it. And you could just see how, he was just so happy. It was like he was being seen. Megan saw him, and I just loved it. And so I think this is an example of what this particular squatty is talking about, why Megan has such a international appeal, because Megan is international in her points of views and in her mind. She has always looked outward and never inward. And I love that about her. I do. And speaking of Tan France, this particular squatty posted about how he is still posting about his experience being on With Love Megan. And this particular squatty posted it, and it says, it's safe to say Tan France is a new squatty. He still is in awe of Megan. And I'm going to put up what he posted. He said, behind the scenes of the most lovely day spent with the most lovely at Megan. She made me feel so welcome, taught me about the gayest flower sprinkles, and gifted me the most heartfelt of gifts that I will treasure forever. Thank you all for the incredible response to my episode of With Love Megan, Season 2, out now. Yes. And he's promoting. He is promoting. I love it. A friend will always promote another friend, always hyping them up. And I love that. I mean, if you don't have a friend who is your hype person, they're not really your friend. They're not. I'm just saying my opinion. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this is something else the squatters are talking about. who would be your dream guest to be on With Love Megan? And I'm going to read what this particular squatty said, and then I'm going to tell you who my dream guest would be. And then y'all can put in the comments who your dream guest would be. But it says in season 3, With Love Megan, who would be your dream guest? I want to see Prince Harry teaching us how to make beans on toast or something. I know that the kitchen will be joke. I know in the kitchen will be jokes and vibes for days. Only thing Megan won't be able to focus. Mr. Fox has that effect on her. Yes. So this particular squad is saying that Harry would be a dream guest. I got a feeling that Harry is going to show up on the Christmas special. Now that is where Harry's going to show up. I'm hoping, at least. I got my fingers crossed, and I want to see Doria too. I want to see Doria. But my dream guest would be Tyler Perry. Yes, I would love to see Tyler or Oprah. Oh, one of those two. I would love to see them show up. If Oprah showed up, they would lose their collective SHIT over there across the pond. Y'all know they would. It would be too delicious. So tell me in the comments, who would you think? Well, who would be your dream guest that you would like to be on season 3 of With Love Megan? Like I said, I would love, if I had to choose between the two, it probably would be Oprah. Yeah, because I would love to see them lose their SHIT across the pond. Yes, that would be too delicious. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And y'all remember back on my Tuesday podcast when this whole interview dropped with Emily Chang, on that podcast, and you can go back and check, I was saying that, well, I was absolutely just cackling because Megan said the only thing that she missed about the US was Magic FM radio. I still cannot say it without laughing. And let me tell you, the squatties are having a ball with that. I was like, I was ahead of the curve on that one because the minute I heard it, I absolutely recognized the shade. Now, it could be because I love a little shade. Y'all know I'm messy and I'm petty, so I can recognize pettiness and messiness from miles and miles away. So when that happened, I'm telling you, I could not hold myself down. I was rolling. I was, because Megan was clearly being very petty and shady. And now the squatties are really talking about how, Megan absolutely came with the shade. This particular squatty said this: TGIF quiz. What did Megan Sussex say she missed the most about the UK? Answer: Magic FM radio station. And this meme right here is these two guys rolling. I mean, laughing so hard, they literally are rolling on the ground. And that is the way the squatties are, because it is so funny. Because, like I said, if you recognize shade, it was a lot of shade being thrown in that interview that Megan did. Yeah, she is the queen of low key shade. And you can say whatever you want to. I recognize it. I recognize pettiness, messiness, and shade. I know it. I know it when I see it. And that's exactly what this Magic FM radio was, Megan being shady. And now the squatties are on the same page with me. They're saying the very same thing. And it is hilarious. It is. And also, I am going to play this soundbite from Magic FM radio. They absolutely heard about Megan saying that was what she missed most about the UK. And some of their own air talent came and made this little soundbite. and it is very, very sweet. So I'm going to put this picture up, and then we'll talk on the other side after the soundbite.
Honestly, one of the things I miss the most about the UK is the radio station. Our radio's so good. Magic. Magic FM? Wow.
Meghan Markle's Got Taste.
That's such a grandma station. Oh my god,
I'll be. Well, that's a grandma's haircut, Tan. Also, nothing wrong with grandmas.
I love the fact that Meghan is listening to Magic. She's got great taste.
Did she go for this job and didn't get it?
Well, yes, she's got a thing for balding ginger guys, but we couldn't make it work.
And there you have it. They made a whole promo about Meghan mentioning in passing on one of her episodes of With Love Meghan that what she missed most about the UK was Magic FM. Now, Magic FM is really pleased about the fact that they are missed the most. And I am so happy that they're happy about Meghan's comment. But yeah, they kind of missed the shade. They kind of missed the shade that Meghan was throwing. But I love it. Y'all know, I also was thinking, what if the Meghan effect happens to Magic FM and they really start gaining followers? Listeners, I think that's what they call them. Listeners, yes. That would be so terrific, because it would be another little twist of the knife to the British media, showing that you toss this all away. Someone who can just mention something and it becomes more and more popular. I am very interested in how that is going to shake out. If I hear anything on these internet streets, I'll bring it back to you. When I know, you'll know. Let's hope it happens. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and this is a repost, and the original post is the one that posted that soundbite I just played, and it says this: Magic radio presenters react to the thing that Duchess of Sussex, hashtag Meghan Sussex, misses the most about life in the UK. They're reacting to her saying it's Magic FM. And then the squatty came in and reposted the original post and said this: initially thought he said Jesus Christ at the start of the clip, but he said the mac and cheese looks nice. So it's definitely well get. Repost from me. I don't know what all that means, but okay. But yes, I really enjoyed the little clip. I thought it was very, very cute. And as I think about that little soundbite that radio station, the presenters did, and how relatable Meghan is. She is. And they want to try to paint her as being out of touch. That's some of the criticisms that I'm hearing from these derangers, these toadies, these trolls, these flying monkeys, these ugly old hags, all of the minions, and all of the smelly, smelly skanks are coming out here saying that somehow, I'm going to put this up, that this right here is out of touch. But if you look at the picture over of someone sitting there in all this regalia, all these stolen jewels, all of this self-aggrandization, yes, like really, Meghan is the one that's out of touch? Yeah, I guess. Okay. And, I also believe in Santa Claus. I'm just saying. And I believe you do too, if you believe that nonsense. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty commented and said this: funny how Meghan making meals with her friends is out of touch and tone deaf, but somehow moving into new mansions and vacationing on yachts all summer. Isn't that something? Yes, it's as if they get their talking points. Wonder from where? I don't know. Could it be the palaces? Yes. This is all stuff that they talk about on this WhatsApp application. Yes, they talk about how are we going to frame this? How are we going to try to trash this? We're going to say she's out of touch. Yes, while William moves into his second, third, fourth, fifth mansion house. Yes, while they vacation on a $500 million yacht. Get out of here. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up. And to me, what Megan said in that interview with Emily Chang makes her so relatable. I've never heard any of those left behind say that they have enough, that they're happy. Never heard them say anything like that. This is what Megan said. Well, I'm going to put this up. This squatty is posting about it and says, Emily asked Megan, what do you want more than anything? And Megan replied, I have it. We have a beautiful, healthy family. We're happy. We're safe. We're safe. We have a community of support surrounding us. There's nothing else that I need. Yes, Megan got her big old house, her wonderful husband, her healthy, beautiful children, her career. She's building an empire and she is safe. Megan understands the danger. It's not just Harry who understands. Megan understands as well. And Megan said she has everything that she needs. I love it. Tell me that's not relatable. All right, y'all. Now, this is what I'm reading on the day. I came across this post right here from a squatty who said that she saw some snippets from Dan Wooden, aka Martin Brandon, his YouTube channel, which Tom Sykes was a guest on, which is mind blowing within itself. And Maria Joseph, aka Dan Wooden, you know, he has several aliases. So it's Martin Brandon and it's also Maria Joseph. Well, Maria Joseph, aka Martin Brandon, aka Dan Wooden, was able to get a lot out of Tom Sykes that I found very interesting. And this squatty is reporting and posting about it. And I want to go through it with you because it's very, very interesting. Now, let's not forget that I just had a podcast. My last podcast, we talked about this article where Tom Sykes is talking about he believed that Diana, the Prince of Wales, was murdered. Yes, he said the word. He did. And so he's now saying that it's time for all that to come out. Well, y'all know my view on it if you watch or listen to my podcast, that I really feel like this is a bomb being dropped on Charles and Cammy. Yes, it's a war going on between the palaces. And Willie Leaks has gone nuclear on Chuck. He has. Because we all know that right there is a nuclear bomb when it comes to infighting within that family. So I don't know what is going to come up next, but Willie Leaks let Chuck know that he is willing to go to the mattresses. And if you know where that comes from, you know exactly what it means. If you know what movie that comes from, put it in the comments. But yes, Willie Leaks said, I'm gonna go to the mattresses on Chuck and Cammy. And that's exactly what he did by getting, well, what I feel, this is my belief, that this is the reason why Tom Sykes is out here, advocating for transparency when it comes to the death of Diana. So this particular squatty said that they got a little snippet of what Tom Sykes was talking about on Maria Joseph, aka Martin Brennan, aka Dan Wooden's, on his YouTube channel. Yeah, so let's go over this. I just found it so interesting and I wanted to share. Now, this particular squatty said this. Long post. A video came across my TikTok of Dan Wooden interviewing Tom Sykes recently. I didn't go to Dan Wooden's channel to see the whole thing because I won't give him clicks, but what I saw made me stop. Tom said how pissed he was that the only paper that ran Charles's funeral storyline about how he wants the Sussexes to be front and center was the Telegraph. And we all know we got a lot of back and forth after that. Yes, we absolutely got a lot of back and forth when William retaliated against Chuck and Cammy and back and forth. And this is what a lot of this is about. Because after that whole story came out, we found out that Willie and Kitty was floating around on a $500 million yacht in the Greek Isles. That was the comeback for this, for them leaking Charles's funeral plans. Y'all remember that story? How those funeral plans was leaked. Charles's secretary called around threatening all of the editors of the rags in the United Kingdom, saying, don't print it, do not print it. And the only publication that printed it was the Telegraph. Y'all remember? And the squatties was talking about how it exposed Chucky. It exposed him because he did have the ability. It showed he did have the ability to squash stories when he wanted to. And he was lying when he said that he could not protect Meghan. He could have protected Meghan. He could have stopped all of this nonsense in its tracks, but he didn't want to, and that proved that. But it also was the fact that it was Willie Leaks, hidden back at the palace, hidden back at Buckingham Palace. This has been a ping pong tennis match between these two palaces all summer. It has. And Tom Sykes dropping that whole thing about feeling that Diana was murdered, that right there was a bomb being dropped. And now he's still talking. He's still talking about how the press is in the bag for Charles, how Charles squashed that story. And like I said, it's not surprising to anybody. I don't know why it's surprising to him, because we squatties have been saying it time and time again. Megan said it in the Oprah interview. She said she was a fool for thinking that they were going to protect her. And why would Megan say that? Because she knew that they had the ability to protect her and chose not to. And this was proof of that. And it also said something about Charles. What a piece of shit. You don't want to have anything to do with the Sussexes while you're alive, but you want them there when you're dead to draw the eyeballs. You're so vain. You're so self-absorbed that you want to make sure that you, in death, your funeral is viewed. I cannot. But let's go on with this. Y'all know I'll get on a tangent. And it goes on to say, no other paper wanted to touch it because they were being threatened. He said in the old days, all of Fleet Street would have band together and ran the story and essentially called them cowards for not doing that. Wow. What is going to get into Tom Thumbhead Sykes? And it goes on to say, He said Tomlin and the Telegraph got into a screaming match, and that is Charles's secretary. So he got in a screaming match with the editor of the Telegraph. And it says, he said William doesn't believe in divine right of kings like Charles, and it's more like a lucky sperm lottery. Well, at least he is not as dumb as we thought. Yes, William is not as dumb as we thought he was, because everybody knows it's a sperm lottery. Because divine where? Divine who? You, Chucky, and Cammy? Y'all are somehow superior? You believe that? You are not a superior human being. You prove it each and every day. And you're married to a bed hopper. I mean, come on now. And so, like I said, William is not as dumb as we thought he was. And that is good to know. And it goes on to say, and I want y'all to listen up on this part. It says he wants to have a very minor monarchy, and he wants to be a normal dad playing with his kids, doing the school run, and having a normal family. Tom actually criticized William for that, saying that that's not good. That's not a good idea, and you can't have a king doing the school run. Where y'all think William got that from? He got it from Harry. He wants Harry's life. He wants what Harry has. He wants the freedom. He wants the life. He wants the lifestyle that Harry has. He doesn't want to be king. He just wants the titles and the privilege that he can use to absolutely lord what he thinks, lord over Harry. But Harry is not in the country where he's at, so he can't really lord over Harry because Harry is nowhere to be seen. Harry's 5,000 miles away. And him and Kitty Cat want to make a life just like Harry and Meghan. They're so envious. How many times have I said that? Harry, Meghan, lock your doors, check your security system, because you could end up in a black van, a blacked out van somewhere, or a blacked out SUV. And Willie and Kitty would have taken up in your Montecito home because they want that. They want that. And this new Forest Lodge, I bet you they are going to try to make it just like Harry and Meghan's Montecito home. Kitty Cat is going to be taking pictures where she's out there in the garden. She's going to be doing all of this stuff. And it's going to be creepy AF. I cannot. But just get ready, y'all. This is what Tom Sykes is saying. And he has a little inside knowledge of what's going on. William doesn't want the pomp and circumstance. He don't want any of that. He wants to live like he is Harry. He does. And when I'm, talking about this, to be honest, if William could get away with it, it would just be Harry in that blacked out SUV. He would absolutely keep Meghan, because I believe William wants Meghan. He wants everything that Harry has, including Meghan. He wants Harry's life. He wants Meghan. Look at that picture of him looking at Meghan on her wedding day. Yes, he wants her. He wants Harry's life. That is the reason why he's so mad. Y'all know we be talking about Kitty Cat, single white female, and Meghan. Well, I'm just saying, William is not far behind. He is single white mailing Harry. I mean hard. I'm just saying. And he goes on to say, he also said that there's a lot of tension between William and Charles. Surprise, surprise. If you've been paying attention, you know that. Us squatties, we watch stuff like this. Like I was saying earlier, it's been a war going on all summer. I mean, we have called it blow for blow. We've been sitting back eating our popcorn and enjoying it. So, of course, it's a lot of tension. And it says, which we all know, and that no one is reporting on it. Well, Tom, in reality, neither are you. Exactly. He has a huge platform and he's not using it. He knows a lot that he's not reporting. He knows a lot what went on with William when William was losing all that weight and swaying like a palm tree down in Florida in the middle of a hurricane. Y'all remember we used to call him Prince Sway Sway, and he was just as thin as he could be. He was rail thin, and there was something going on with him, and they never reported on that. I mean, he showed up to official engagements. He looked like he was impaired, but nothing was said. So you have a platform, Tom Thumbhead Sykes, while you're calling the editors, the journalists on Fleet Street, calling them cowards for not writing about this whole thing with Charles's funeral. What about all this that went on with William? Nobody said a peep about it. You didn't write anything about it. You have this huge platform. I would say you're a coward also. I mean, it is definitely throwing rocks and hiding your hands. I'm just saying. And it says, he said that the last 10 years the Queen let Charles have the decision making, which makes sense regarding how Harry and Meghan were treated. And he believed Charles is giving some of that power to William. One of the main obstacles regarding father and son reconciliation is that Tom believes Charles won't do anything without William's approval. I don't know if I buy that because Charles only cares about his image. He doesn't care about what William thinks. Now, what do I think about that? Do I agree with this squatty or not? I don't know. I am torn because it definitely seems like Charles is using William as an excuse. Now, is that excuse valid? I don't know. Because we all know how low down and dirty and what a snake Charles is. And he is not above using William as a scapegoat for his own hateful means. So, I don't know. And we also know that William hates Harry so much because he's so jealous and so envious. If he has any pull with Charles, he absolutely would do that to prevent reconciliation between Harry and Charles. Because y'all know he lost his SHIT when Harry did that BBC interview and never brought him up. When Harry spoke of reconciliation, he only spoke of it with Charles. And William went a running. And Tom Sykes was one of the journalists, so-called journalists, I should say, that he ran to with his cup of salty tears. So, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Because to me, it could go either way. Because when you are dealing with two snakes, you just never know. They bite each other. I mean, I don't know. But I do know either way, it works out better for Harry because Harry do not need to have a relationship with those snakes because when they're not biting each other, They're focused on him and biting him. I'm just saying. But I just found this whole thing very, very fascinating. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to put up some of the responses to this post. Some of the Scottish responses to this post. And the first one says this: Charles would never give up power to William to make a decision when he got Camilla by his side. The Queen did that probably because Prince Philip just let the Queen be the Queen. But there is no way Charles would give that kind of power to William. Camilla would never allow him. Now, am I being naive? What kind of power does Charles really have? Now, he has power to sway the government and do his stitch ups and whatnot, but real power to move the government in the direction that he would want it to go from one direction to another, that's in Keir Starmer's hand. He is the prime minister. So I don't know what this power, I don't know what this power is. What does it entail? UK squatties, educate me, because I don't see where it's much of any power except to be very malicious when you need to be. I mean, you can throw a court case, you can, interfere in government works when it comes to an individual. You can do that, and you can threaten the newspapers. But real power to do, to change the direction of a country, the country that you are the monarch of, is it really that kind of power? Just a question. And I agree with this squatty on this, where I don't think Charles will give William any power. Not until he's going to have to wait till that stick is broken. Y'all remember when they broke that stick and lowered the queen down in the vault? That's when William will get his power. It's real power. Because even at the end of the day, he doesn't have the power to change the funeral of the dead monarch, because they make those plans prior. So, I don't know. Y'all give me y'all's opinion. And this next squatty said, I agree. I don't think Charles would ever give power to William. It's obvious it hasn't happened because look at how little William works and how absolutely infrequent those two men are seen together. Another point Tom made was William hates those ceremonial robes and orders of the bath and all of that crap and wants to do away with it. Laugh out loud, because we make fun of him. They are fully aware of what the squatties are doing. When he shows up, we make fun of him. And he just not getting that satisfaction out of it anymore. I don't think he's getting satisfaction out of any of it, because he doesn't have the ability to lord over Harry. Harry is such a big part of his emotions. How he can grind Harry into the ground, that's where he's coming from. Harry cannot have one thing more than him. He always have to have more than Harry. And Harry has absolutely took a left and is in California living his best life, surfing. I bet when all those pictures come out, that kills him. So, yeah. And I think another reason why he's not doing that much is because he is financially independent. He has the duchy now, the Duchy of Cornwall. He doesn't have to, Charles cannot control him with his money. So I think that's a lot too. And they do want to live their lives like Harry and Meghan. They don't want to do all that ceremonial stuff. They want to be somewhere surfing. They want to make the front pages. They want to be popular. They want to go to Hollywood. and mingle with the stars. They want to do all of that. Y'all know I said when William becomes king, he will buy a home in the U.S. That's my prediction. I put it out there a long time ago. Let's see if it comes true. All right, the next squatty said this. This is very interesting. I thought Tom Sykes had more self-respect than to appear on Dan Wooden. Nonetheless, what he said was very interesting. I agree with that. It was very interesting. But it's nothing new that we hadn't talked about. The squatties hadn't said. Now, we are not clairvoyant or anything like that, but we can read the room. We can read those folks over there. And everything that Tom Sykes said, we absolutely have said time and time again. No surprises there, but we always love the receipt. We do. We love the receipt. And this other squatty said, yeah, I was shocked that Tom Sykes was on the interview, but from the snippets I saw, he was very irritated. Dan even said Charles is leaking against William, but then turned around and claimed Harry lies when he says the same thing happened to him. Well, we all know Dan Wooden, aka Maria Joseph, aka Martin Brennan, has an agenda when it comes to Harry and Meghan. That's his money maker. And so he has to stay on his mission. He really do. Because all of his crazy, ugly old hags, trolls, derangers, and smelly old skanks, they expect that from him. Because that's who his audience is made up of. So I'm not surprised about that. It says, Dan even said that Charles is leaking against William. I just said that. And that right there, I am surprised that they admitted to that. But we all know that William is leaking against Charles as well. Because we got that picture of Cammy on a yacht. Y'all remember that? Not long after we found out that William and Kate was on a yacht in the Greek Isles, the fire bag, the push bag, the next blowback was Cammy pictured on the deck of a yacht of her own. And that was from some Saudi Arabian prince. She was on his yacht. So yeah, it's been going back and forth. They're leaking, against each other. The war is two-sided, not one-sided, but for some reason they want to pretend like it's one-sided. It's just Charles leaking on William. No, And it says Dan is such a liar because he knows William was leaking on Harry and Meghan years before Harry even spoke out. Exactly, because we all know that famous clip. Yes, the famous one that Byron runs all the time about how the calls are coming from inside the house. Y'all remember that? And he was sitting there saying that the leaking and the planning of stories was coming from the royal family. Y'all remember that? Yes. So true. And the last one said, this would actually be smart of William because so many younger people see no use in the monarchy. This would be palatable to them only if he was willing to give up a lot of the property and wealth in exchange. I highly doubt that he'll be cool with that. Exactly. He wants all of that. He just don't want to do the duty. Him and Kitty Cat don't want to do none of that. They don't want to do the investitures. They don't want to do, I think it's some event that engagement that they do. They hand out money. I forgot what that was. I know my UK squatties, they know. My UK readers, y'all know what that engagement they do, where the king or one of the royal family hands money out to people. I don't know what that is, but it's not a lot of money, y'all. it's just a few coins. I don't know what it's called. He don't want to do that. He don't want to do the trooping of the colors or just none of that. He wants to be somewhere surfing. He wants to be somewhere on the stage. He wants to mimic Harry's life. Exactly. But he wants to keep the trappings. You best believe that. I'm just saying. Y'all, I'm telling you, it is just so crazy to me that we are in year 6 and we're still dealing with the nonsense. Still dealing with it. I mean, I cannot believe it. I really thought that they would move on. But it seems like moving on is not in their vocabulary. Look at, we getting quizzes asking about if Meghan should come back. All kinds of nonsense. I mean, and it's year 6 already. Harry and Meghan has clearly moved on and these people are still stuck. I'm going to put this up. This squatty was talking about this and said, UK told Meghan to leave. She left. You told her not to speak about y'all. She doesn't F with y'all anymore. So why are some of y'all so angry about her show filmed in her own country? She is not forcing you to watch her from 5,000 miles away. What the F? Won't y'all leave her the F alone? Exactly. But they can't. They can't. It's like a moth to a flame, and it will envelop them. They will eventually slip down the drain. And y'all, what I really find so hilarious is that they cannot accept the rejection. In their fevered mind, they really feel that Meghan should want to come back to a unpaid position. Let's not get it twisted. Meghan was not getting paid. She was doing all this work for free. They was not giving her a stipend for anything. They were living off of Harry's stipend. And so she should want to come back to an unpaid position to be abused and used for profit, pretty much. And you know, why would Meghan ever want to do that and then come back and live in a shack? I cannot. It is crazy to me. And why would she want to ever give up her freedom? Why would she ever want to allow William and Kate and Charles and Cammy to have their foot on her neck where she's forever looking at the back of this mediocre woman's head? Well, both of them, because Meghan is so much more superior than both of them. Well, every time, you know what is said about Meghan over there across the pond. Every time she went in a room with all these mediocres, she was the smartest one in the room. And all I can say is, where's the lie on that? All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this has nothing to do with William or Kate or Cammy or Chuck or Harry and Meghan. This has something to do with my favorite actor. And I'm going to put it up. And this was posted by Black History Studies. And it says, it's hard to believe it's been 5 years since Chadwick Boseman passed away. Yes, Chadwick has been gone 5 years. Tell me time doesn't pass. It passed so quickly. And I'm going to tell you, that really did something to me. Yes, it's a few people who pass that, really hits differently. And Chadwick, for me, was one of them. Michael Jackson, that was another one. And Malcolm Jamal Warner, that's another one. Kind of hit, because grew up with Theo. Yeah, so yeah, it's been 5 years already. And it says, He showed incredible strength throughout his battle with colon cancer, leaving an incredible mark on the world. Where is the lie? Though he's no longer with us, his legacy continues to inspire. Rest in power, King. Yes, do you not know when he was battling cancer, he would still go to the hospital and visit with little children suffering with cancer, dying of cancer. And he would bring all of this Black Panther merch. He would. All the little figures, action figures, all of that, masks, all of it. He was still giving to other people while he was going through his own cancer battle. And he did it with such grace. And he never ever complained. I miss Chadwick. He was one of a kind. So yes, it's been 5 years. Oh, how time flies. And oh, how he is still missed. I'm telling you. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.